Welcome back to another episode of Heard It Here First with your host DJ Max, and you know Heard It Here First is a conversation that focuses on wellness, financial independency, and we are bringing a conversation for the future. Heard It Here First is where we talk to local artists, creators, people who are actually impacting the community and doing things that are helping us grow. You know, as creators, we look for other people that like-minded like us, and we try to communicate with them the best we can. So Heard It Here First, man, this is episode number 4, and I'm looking forward to it. Today, I got a really special guest in the house. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you like and comment this video, and just keep us going as we help support you guys out there. But let's get right into it. My today guest, man, I got Alexis Brooke in the building. How you doing, Alexis?
So good. Thanks, Max, for having me today. I'm super excited.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate you taking your time off. I know how busy things can get, and you're a working artist. You always, you got things going on. So finding time to sit here and just talk about yourself, your music, and whatever you're working on, I really appreciate it. And so everybody else out there, just kind of helping brighten up people. So we're just going to get right into it.
Yes.
Alexis, tell us who you are. What do you do?
Mainly singer-songwriter.
Okay. From
Seattle. Lived in LA for like 5 years. Came back to Seattle. So yeah, I went to school for fashion too. So I love clothes. I love music. I love creative direction. I like being around artistic people in general. But my probably main thing that I put out into the world is songs and videos and all of that.
Nice. Yeah, that's dope. Like, you've been making transition throughout the Seattle scene. Would you say that you started your career music wise in Seattle,
No.
or how does this whole music thing started?
That's so crazy, because when I was younger, I just wanted to go to Hollywood so bad.
Right.
And I think I grew up in the era where we had like pop stars. We had like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, really big pop stars. So to me, that was like what I wanted to do. But also moving to Hollywood at that time was before TikTok, was before really Instagram was so big. So I really thought it was going to be like the old school way of just like going there and being super talented and meeting people and like grinding until you were like noticed. And so, yeah, that was always my goal. I went to school for fashion out there, but I went to an art school. So there was audio students, there was video students, there was graphic design students at my school. And it was easy to collaborate with like the other students on campus. But also like when I was first there, my first year, I had never seen a song be recorded. So it was like, I just kind of like dove into it so hard because I was like, oh, this is everything I've always wanted. And I felt like I was in a TV show. Like, we were in art school in Hollywood. Everyone was like super hungry to be like a fashion designer or like an artist. There's the street we went to school on was like all like industry dancers, like all these dance studios, all these like music studios. So it was just like, yo, I'm like living right in the middle of the industry. I feel like I'm in training. Right. Like
you're technically like in your dreams because there's like all like-minded people. So technically you said that you didn't go to California mostly for music. It started more like fashion. That was your driven goal before you got into music?
No,
or how did that play out?
I think I wanted to go there for music, but fashion school was kind of like my way of doing that.
Oh, okay.
But it was also simultaneously a passion of mine, not like bigger than music, but almost like, equal. Representing yourself is like important. I always love expression through clothing, but but when you say like, when did you start? Like that was definitely when it started for me, because it wasn't really until I like fully immersed myself in a scene and with intention did that to like start down that path. Right. Like I used to like write songs here and whatever in my bedroom, but it wasn't like I had ever recorded. I had ever really
take it to that next level type of thing.
Yeah.
So like the whole transition, did you grow up in Seattle? How was life before moving up to LA? And I feel like that what is going to define your craft, or like whatever you were singing about or whatever you were making, always start from like where you came up and what brings that passion. So would you say you grew up in Seattle, or how was life like high school and all that?
I grew up in, I wouldn't say the city, like I'm not gonna front, and people in Washington have like serious turf wars, so I don't even want to be like, oh, I'm from here, and feel like you're not from Seattle. But I am, okay.
Let them know that.
Anyways, I won't say like, I don't know, like, what do you mean, how did I grow up? Like
did you grow up in the Seattle area? Like, I know most
like
people...
20 minutes out of the city.
Okay.
20, 30 minutes out of the city.
Okay, cool. So that transition from just being in the area and like understanding your creativity, like did it start like that spark you year, or like when you moved to LA is when like everything just became more realistic?
Yeah, I think like it was always like a dream of mine that I didn't pursue until I actually made that move.
Oh, okay.
And when I made that move, it was like, this is who I am now, Right. So at what time did you make that transition? Was it like fresh out of high school? Yeah, I think I was like 18.
Oh, okay.
And I just like packed my car and was like,
yeah.
I took all my stuff, went down there, was like super, super, super excited and had no fear, no like restrictions, like just full blown passion, just excited.
That's me right now. That's the life I'm living right now. Like earlier off camera, I was telling you, like my friend Fred was the one that actually like put me on the whole Washington wave. Like when he came out there to visit, it was like really impactful. He was just sharing ideas, and like I felt like there was more like-minded people out here. Like when it came to what I was trying to get into, than I had out there. Right. Yeah. So when we had made that conversation, it was like, man, I got to check it out. I got to give it a try. I got to, you know what I'm saying? If I want to feel like I'm doing something, I at least got to give it a try. And since I came out here, it's just been a movie, like, don't get me wrong. Life is all about ups and downs, but I'm way into that, like, group of people with like-minded ideas. Like, not a lot of my friends are doing podcasting, but they're doing way a lot more, right? And everything is still based around it, whether it's like just content creating, whether it's like the clothing, whatever we're doing, like we find a way to just include each other in it to make it more brighter.
That's
right?
Cool.
So I think that right there, you saying just getting up and believing in yourself and taking that next step, like, and just saying this is where I'm going to start from because it's something that is passionate about. That right there is money, right? So I feel like that we connect on a whole lot harder, just getting up and going to do it and believing in yourself and being excited. Moving
out of state to do it too, it's like that's your only intention for being there.
Right.
So like you're a lot hungrier, you're like a lot more in the zone when you're like, I came here to do this, and like this is like what I'm gonna survive off doing, Yeah,
100%. So what was your first song you ever recorded? Do you remember?
Yeah, I recorded a lot. Like when I first was recording ever, I was recording a lot of like just my voice over like the Weeknd songs or Party Next Door songs. Like before I wrote any originals.
Right.
I was just like, oh, I love this wave. And this was like 2015, 2016. So SoundCloud like was just popping off. Right. And I was like, ooh, I really like this like dark R&B slow vibe. Like, so I would just record over their songs just to like hear myself and get comfortable. And my, dear friend, and I love him, good producer that did that whole first album with me, was like, yo, like, you have to come out with something original. This sounds really good.
Right. Nah.
And then he produced like my whole next 2 years of music. Like, that was like the best partnership I think I ever had.
That's great.
He was like my rock in life, like taught me how to structure a song, taught me how to write, taught me, recorded everything I did, produced my music, like came to all my shows with me, like created my live songs for me. Like, I think that's so crucial in a partnership for an artist too, is like that producer that you really lock in with. Yes. That's like your other half. Like, they are a big credit to your sound you know?
Right. No, 100%. Like the producers, like I feel like 50 up to 60% of the music, because you as a creator, you were coming up with the lyrics, you were coming up with like whatever you were feeling that day in the studio. But the producer's the one who laying the platform, right? He's playing that beat, and that beat is controlled in the moment in that studio, and that's what's going to bring that vibe out of you. That's what's going to bring whatever you were bringing to the table. So it's major when you find someone who connects with you heavily, right? As a producer, like you said, when you met him, that was like a transitional space of your life, right? And he telling you to like move higher than just, you know, singing over other artists' music. So how did you find your feel? Like, you know, like even with R&B, like what was this album about? Like what brought that, you know, if people could personally connect with what you were saying, like how would you define that? Like
the first, like my first album, like that we worked on. Yeah, it was called At Night, and it was 2016 that we recorded it. So it was like a minute ago. That whole thing was like just about like the life we were living. Like at that time, I was like in Hollywood. I was like really young by myself, like going out a lot to like parties, smoking a lot of weed. Right. Just kind of like obsessed with like dark, creepy, like nighttime more than the daytime. Right. Kind of just really into my art and myself and my friends, and just thought I was the shit. And honestly, like that's kind of what a lot of it was. A lot of it was just like singing about like riding around smoking at night in Hollywood, or like some parties we went to, or like super confident, like talking shit songs. Right. That was that era.
It does sound like you were actually singing where you were living, right? Which is different. Yeah. Like a lot of people, like they get so creative, like they make things that is different, like it's not what they're living every day. But when you are making music that is more organic, right? Because it could be you sitting here right now and just coming up with ideas of like, how can I include this moment into my next art? You know what I'm saying? So like that right there is, I feel like that's my favorite thing when I talk to like organic artists or like super unique creators. We're just like, we are actually making our art just based on what we are doing, like based on our lifestyle, based on...
Because it's like you pull so much from emotion. So like everything. I used to think I was like a freak because I'd have like a crush on somebody, hang out with them once and write like a ballad, or like, you know, just maybe somebody that I don't know. But I can pull inspiration from a lot of people, even if it was a connection for like a really brief moment. Right. Like if I felt something, like I'll still use it.
Right. No, that's
I'll still like use you as a muse.
Exactly. You know, like actually talking about inspiration, is there like, I mean, you did mention Party Next Door and like The Weeknd and using their style to kind of help, you know, create your foundation. Are there like any artists out there that you would say been a heavy inspiration throughout your music career? Because you actually been doing this for a while. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Is there artists out there so far that you think play a major impact?
I would still say The Weeknd is such a big person I look up to. Right. I don't feel like people like talk about him enough. Obviously he's really famous, but just like his intricacies of his lyrics and his production and who he works with is like so cool. And the progression of his albums, like he was just always in different states of kind of a genre. Like his last album was very like 80s pop. Right. But like earlier he was like really obsessed with like Japanese girls and like just like weird shit. Yeah. But I love him and his artistry as a whole. Like I really, really dig him. I feel like different phases in my life, it's different things. Like I really like a lot of like post-punk, a lot of like German producers, just like weird shit, you know, like that.
I think that's what makes you unique, right? When you like strive into different sides of styles and music, and like, you know, using other people to inspire your creativity. The Weeknd is definitely the GOAT. Like everyone knows he's probably one of the most popular artists out there when it comes to anything. So I'm pretty sure you heard a lot of times that, you know, his music has inspired a lot of great people to keep doing what they do best. And I feel like that just like an organic stand. Like you always have to find something that helps you find yourself. I feel like we are a little too scared nowadays to say, yo, this person, you know, that thing you did was the reason why I was inspired, because everyone just want to prove a point. But when you accept how you're becoming a creator and you were letting people know like, yo, this is what play part in my art, like I feel like that's
a good point. I feel like there's nothing wrong with like taking little things like from people and like making it your own.
Yeah.
Without that's a tough situation though, because I hate being copied. But people say it's flattery, whatever. But I definitely take from people too. Like I take from a lot of people. Just artists, fashion shows, producers, like things that I think are dope. I think you incorporate it into what you do. So like you said, like that, but people want to be like original.
Nah, everyone want to be like, oh no, this is all me, like, but it's hard nowadays, right? Because there's nothing you can really do that somebody haven't played around with a little bit, It's like you can just find yourself in using that person's strategy. I'm not saying go word for word, but it's like you can just find yourself, right, using that person's strategy. I think that's just like a heavy, unique style. And I also noticed that you had a chance to get your music playing like a film festival. How was that?
Yeah, that was so cool. It was cool because my parents got to come and like my friends got to come, and it was just, I think what was special about it was like Lex, the guy who throws it, he really emphasizes that it's like somewhere else for it to live besides the internet. Like we put things out on the internet a lot,
right?
Put things out on YouTube, put things out on Instagram. We'll like DM them to each other, but like getting to watch it in person together, and then getting to like go give a little speech about it and have people like say like this experience was so cool, and like meet other people in person was really special, and like kind of inspired me that the next work of art that I release, I want to throw a party or something. Okay. I'm like, why the fuck haven't I been doing that? Like, I mean, let's celebrate ourselves more, like than just like, hey, I dropped a project, like stream it, make a shit ton of reels or whatever. But like, let's enjoy it in person. Like that's so special.
I think that's what I'm doing here too, like with the rest of my team. It's like being able to like embrace ourselves, everyone aim for like the top names. Like I could try to like reach out to the top people and try to interview them or run around and like a paparazzi or whatever. But like we never take the time to like just embrace what we got right here, right now, like or like locally, from us and friends and people we were seeing. Like I was telling my homie on the last podcast, like I listened to his music. I love his art. Like I listen word for word, and same with you. Like I listen to your music because at the end of the day, I can feel relations to it. Like I feel like I know you. Like even with my friends that I hang out with that do music, there are some bars in the music, and I'm like, that's crazy because I was there. Like it just it relates way more, right? So I feel like this is the chance for me to like create a platform that embrace that. Like let's take it from the bottom. Let's take it from where we started and how we started it. And just like give the ones who are trying enough the light to keep them trying. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and I appreciate that. Even creating a dialogue and a conversation about it, because it's just like art is like you do it collaboratively, but then where does it live?
Yeah.
But like having a conversation to talk about like the process of it, or like something like a festival where we get to watch it together and talk about it. It's like special.
Yeah, it defines you and it makes people more connected to you. Like I tell a lot of artists, like you use your song, you use your art, you project that, but it defines you in a way. But you sitting here and talking to me and sharing that experience makes people understand you a whole lot way more. You know what I'm saying? They're listening to you like, oh, you remember when you said that? Like, oh, when you said something on that podcast that I actually been through or went through, and it really inspired me to like keep going. I actually took that leap of faith to move to LA too, and like listening to your story had like brightened me up to keep going. So I think that's my whole entire goal with Herdy at First, is like to aim for those creators that are trying to like keep going and also keep inspiring young people out there, like even older people, whoever is doing whatever that you were doing in your field, is like, how can I bring light to that? How can I share with that? And I tell my audience all the time, like, reach out, give suggestion. What do you want to hear? Do you want to be on the show? Like,
it's crazy. I think like I got to do something, I think last year, the year before, I got to mentor a 13-year-old for like 6 months to a year. And they wanted to be a creative person, and they were like, their mom reached out to me because it's like an old time family friend, but a younger kid of theirs, right? And that was like super, super, super impactful, more than like a lot of the accomplishments I've had, because it was like somebody younger in my community, in my hometown, family friend recognized it and was like, hey, I really would like you to mentor my kid. I think you'd be like a great example, and just like could get them out of their shell. I was like, oh, and it was so special. And they were so sweet. Like I'd come over and they'd like have like a, this was the cutest shit. They had like a fresh press like jug of like lemonade that they made. Or we'd do like makeup challenges together. Like this week we're gonna do like FX blood makeup and just like take pictures of each other. But it was so fun. It was really cool. And that was special.
I think it's the little things in life that brings more joy, right? Like, you know, a family believing in you to mentor that kid because they see how you are living and what you are doing. That alone, you got to be proud of yourself. Like a lot of people are just looking for like the big screen to make them feel proud of themselves. Or like some crazy views on TikTok or Instagram. And it's like, oh, I made it. But it's like, you have made it just by helping someone else. You have made it just by, you know what I mean?
Like you think I'm qualified and I've been through enough to like teach you. Like that was special. And like when you say like, this is, you know, could inspire people to do it, like I love that, because it's awesome. Like it's like a fucked up hard journey too, don't get me wrong, but like I think it's also just really special to be a creative person.
That's true.
And like express yourself, like,
you know,
why not?
You know, that brings me up to a question that I normally ask all my guests, but what would you say, like, what else defines you besides your art, right? What else defines you besides your music? Are there things that you think people should know you of besides just music? You know, that's hard,
because like you take away that part of your identity. You're like,
yeah, that people should probably just know you off a little bit. It's probably not the most major thing in your life, but it's just something that is unique enough that you feel like people don't emphasize on mostly, but they just know you because you're an artist.
I want to say like this is a contradiction, but my family would say I have an attitude. But I would say like I'm really kind to people. I like to promote like kindness and just like being accepting of people. So I feel like if there was something that you felt from me, not necessarily like who I am, I would say like if a coworker or like somebody like in the last few years I worked with, I would hope that I made them feel like comfortable and like accepted in the space.
Right.
Like that's what I would probably want my legacy to be, besides being a creative, if you didn't know that, because I don't like my coworkers to know I do art anyways. It's like weird. It's like, that's my alter ego. You don't need to know about that side of me.
Ego, it sounds like the Max Wayne, you know, like I just had to say that, I had to get it off. But it's actually hilarious when people say that, because like I feel like everyone has so much to them than what we settle for, than what we project, right?
We have layers.
Like you say, you need to tell your coworkers about your art, because that's how you stand on business. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, it's for real. Like at the end of the day, you got to believe in yourself. Like that's one thing I do the most, and it's like I don't care what you think. Like deep down, maybe I do, but like whether you support or not, I just want you to know, like, I'm more than what you think I am.
That's
like,
true.
I'm bigger than wherever I am right now. So, like, whether you believe it or not, I just want you to know that
that's true.
I do more than just what you see today. You feel me? And, like, I'm planning on creating more than what it is right now. It's kind of
fun when you do, too. You're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Bet you didn't know I had albums.
Nah, for real. And some people be tripping because they think, like, oh, if you start to tell people about that, or, like, you start to tell your coworkers about your side hustle or whatever it is, they're going to look at you funny, or they're going to try to, like, you know, oh, you think you're better than us? They're who are stuck up in this place. But
I am, bitch.
You got to look past that. You got to look past that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something you got to look past. And I feel like the answer you gave is the same with me. It's like, so being organic, being respectful, just, you know, loving other people and loving yourself, you know, I think that's the same thing, right? And with that being said, would you say you're open to working with other people? How do you feel when it comes to collaboration? How do you feel when it comes to people reaching out to you? Because, you know, I appreciate you for how well you communicated when I reach out to just make this network possible. How is that for other artists or just other people who's looking forward to working with you?
I would say, like I was telling homie over there, like it takes a team to make music happen, you need somebody to mix it, you need somebody to produce it.
Right.
So yeah, definitely feel like there's so much talent in Seattle as far as like videographers, photographers. There's like really, 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 really talented people for visuals. So I love to work with them. If you're talking other music artists, like it's like I'm open to it, but it's tricky too. It has to be like somebody I like, obviously.
Okay.
I'm not like a person that's like, oh, you can pay me for a verse. Cause I'm really like integral about my art. Like I have integrity about it. So I'm not like, yeah, pay me $600 for it. Like, you know, like
right.
Even if you paid me a lot of money, I probably wouldn't want to, if I didn't like your music, I wouldn't want to sell you my vocals.
That makes sense
so
too.
Somebody that I want to work with. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you out there and you working on art too, I just feel like if people out there want to reach out, just give them a try, you know, because that's what I do. Like people reach out and want to have a conversation. I will tell you that the conversation is going to be based around my focus, based around what the program is about. You know what I mean? So if you're willing to network, just know that it's going to be a even thing. It's not like I'm just going to come and just project my energy on your show. Like, no, it's going to be even out, right?
Oh yeah.
You know,
I see.
It's gonna be even out. Like we're gonna have to build that relations of like, what are we really talking about? Is this beneficial to both of our audience? Like, how can we reach out in a way that is still beneficial for me and you? You know what I mean? So like, I totally understand. It's like I just don't want to sit with anybody or just talk to anybody or just record with anyone. It's just like it got to make sense. We have to have
totally for you too.
Ground.
I'm sure like guests that you have are like somewhat people of interest. You're not just going to invite somebody like you don't care for on your show, right?
100%.
Like, yeah. 100%. So it's your time, it's your energy, it's your craft. It wouldn't make sense to want to like the people you work with.
Right, 100%. No, you were right though, and that definitely get into like really what I am. That's why when I talked to you, I was like, yeah, like-minded. Let's get this conversation out because that's the kind of people we are, and that's what we do. You know, like I could like just go on with questions, but you already told us a little bit about your career and what you were getting into, and why you started. Like, would you categorize your music? How do you define your music? Is it like R&B? Is it like more like pop? Like, do you already put it in a category, or are you just still trying to find that niche?
Yeah. Why do you think we do that? Like, why do you think we want to generalize? Because I don't like that question so much, but why do you think?
You know, that's a good question. It's crazy because no one really asks me questions on the show. I'm the only one doing the questions, but that's actually cool. Because the reason why I asked that is because I see a lot of creators just like following a certain train, like not giving themselves enough room to become a creator,
like
right?
Experiment more.
Yes. So it's like, whether if you like a pop or rap, like mostly like rap, right? It's like everyone just want to build themselves into that category. But it's like, think about when an artist do a song with whether it's from Taylor Swift to different other unique pop stars out there, right? It's different, right? It brings another sound to music. So that's something I just always want to ask. Like, would you categorize yourself as an artist, or are you just at a point where it's just like, I'm figuring this out?
Yeah, interesting. I think I'm at a really pivotal point. Like, I think like the next group of songs I put out is like totally different than what I used to do.
Right.
And I kind of owed that to myself to just grow and like transition into a different era of my life. And I don't know. It's hard to define what it is, you know? Totally understand. I want to get crazier, Max. I want to like actually be like a weirdo.
Yeah. It's like weirdo. Like, it's such a tough word, but it's cool. It's just unique. That's what you were aiming for, right?
Yeah. Like I feel like I went through like that kind of rebirthing when I first moved to Hollywood. I just gave no fucks.
Right.
Like I was like bleached my hair, was like living this whole just different life. I feel like I need that again.
Right.
But now I'm in a different phase where like my priorities are different. Like I definitely prioritize like stability and like, you know, money and like a lot of things I didn't prioritize when I was like 18.
Yeah, no, of course. It comes with growing up.
But yeah, exactly. But I also do feel like expression is so important to me too. And I feel like I'm not like I feel like I'm not prioritizing it as much as I would.
Right.
As I should.
Yeah,
you know?
I get that.
Yeah,
So on that note, it seemed like you started like really like you went all in when you got to LA. So why did you come back? Like, what was your transition after 5 years, right?
Yeah. It was just like not really my choice, honestly. It was like I finished school, kind of pandemic era happened. I wasn't really prepared like for anything. Like I was like still just kind of like whatever. I can like work freelance shifts here and there. And at the time when I was like a full-time student, like I didn't think about money as much as I should have.
Right.
And that kind of got me into like a hole. And then I was like, oh, like this is also something I wanted to talk about. Like I feel like when I was in LA, I was really young and I was like super hungry. Like I said to you about moving out of state with an intention. I was like, I'm gonna be famous and I'm gonna get fucking rich within like 2 years. So it doesn't matter. Pandemic, lost my job, a waterfall of events, crazy breakup. I just wanted to be with my family.
Right.
Like through all the turmoil, I was like, I really just want to be close to my family. And it's like hard for me to want to leave them because it's been really nice being next to them.
Right.
They're from here. They're all here, obviously. So what was my train of thought?
Just more of your transition coming back here and like, you know.
Yeah.
But did you feel good coming back, or was it just like a quick decision that you just had to make?
I was at such a low point. I don't think I was like happy. I think it was just like, I just need my family right now.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, makes sense.
So I think I was kind of negative at that point because I was like, it wasn't really my choice. It was just like circumstances.
Okay. And what do?
And some of my friends in LA that were like, yo, just DoorDash, just like figure it out, just like hustle, like just, and I was like, I don't really want to like struggle.
Right.
Why would I want to put myself through that? I guess like I had been doing that for years already. So it was like, I don't want to.
Yeah, how hard? Yeah,
I just want to go home. Fuck this. Like hard up. I don't know. I have known plenty of people to couch surf and do all that, and like that's a journey. And I, you know, like when we're young, but I think I was at the point where I was like, I'm just so tired. I didn't even have the energy to do anything.
Yeah, you know,
but like quit.
That story is like insane. Like, I don't know if you define it as quitting or like it was just a transitional space where you like had to do something that is a little more beneficial for you, a little more mentally healthy. So that way you can actually like get back into your prime instead of just risking it all. And just, you know, that's the two difference with people, right? I try to visit my family the most I can once a year or probably twice a year, you know, and I feel you on that. I feel you when it comes to family. I feel you when it comes to like missing out on the people that you really love, the ones that you grew up with full time. And when you just get away and just move away and like believe in whatever you were doing, like it's harder for people to like really like stand on that, where it's just like, okay, even if I'm doing good or bad, it's just like I want to risk it all. And I'm just at that point where you at, but luckily for me, I was able to network with people and I had relationships already here, like, you know, having my brother Fred to be here and help guide me through the process, since he's already been here and already had the experience. So it's like, it's different from other people who were just like jinxing it. We're just like, you know, I really want it. Like, I don't really, you know what I mean?
See what you mean. Yeah. Luckily I was in school though, and I had somewhat of a community. And I had a boyfriend, and I had like, you know, just, I had support-ish, but when you go home now, like living here, do you feel like, oh my God, I'm so drained, I like really need this family time? Like, do you feel that way?
I mean, I wouldn't really say it like that, because for me it's more like emotional. It's like it's just like the connection is like, I just need that laugh, or like I need to see my brother, like, you know, like that I grew up with, you know what I mean? So it's like when it's so long and I haven't felt that before, it's just like almost like an addiction, where it's just like, damn, like, you know, it's been so long, you're missing missing these people. Like these phone calls and FaceTimes are not filling the gap. You know, you want to be there. You want to connect with them personally.
Holidays, you're like by yourself.
Exactly.
I had so many like weird holidays. My roommate and I just got like drunk on Easter at like Laguna Beach or something because we were like, well, we're here alone.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah.
But my thing is the difference with my situation is like going back home is not really beneficial to the craft I'm pushing for, right? So don't get me wrong, there are people out there who are creators, but it's not as creative as the scene I got out here. It's not as creative as the people I got out here. It's not like-minded as the ones I have out here. So it's a little different. It's like if I feel like I can go back and start the same program there, it should be really nice, you know, it'd be close to family. But I feel like the organic growth we should have out here is the reason why I'm sticking out here, right? You know, and it's different because it's gonna slow down my progress in which I feel, right?
Yeah.
And also I just feel like I've already built such a strong community in a way that I just want to expand on it. You know, I want to give it more try. There's more brightness to it. I see the light, you know, but at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, how much do I already want it? I think that's the face of life is at right now. How much do I already want it? But like I said, I try to go home the most I can. You know, like I think my family do understand that I'm taking that leap of faith. You know, somebody got to do it type of situation. So I just want to create something bigger than what I was. You know, because I can go back home and be cool with family. You know, don't have to go through too much stress. You know, mom and whatever. But I'm choosing to create something unique. I'm choosing to create a style.
Honestly, I think like when you take that risk and you're going through that, it's like the biggest growth period you can ever experience. So I'm so grateful for it. Like you're going through it. Well, and you've seemed to like, because when I left to LA, like I said, like I created that for myself there for the first time. And it was really hard for me to leave that. I was like devastated. I felt like there was so many dope and creative and amazing situations I had in LA.
Right.
And then I came back and I was like, fuck, that sucks. And I have to kind of start over in a new city. But, you know, like you said, there's like so much talent out here as well. And I think it just like takes time to embrace it and like meet people as well and kind of reconnect because connections take time. Mm-hmm. Like that's with anybody that you're working with, it takes time to like, you know, gain trust and kind of build that relationship. But, you know, moving away from home too, like you just grow a lot in different ways as well.
Right.
Like you're like, I don't know, I was like 18.
It shows you a different kind of view of life, you know?
It does, yeah. I mean, I remember like walking up with all my groceries, like a 3-4 apartment walk up, and I was like finding my own doctor, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what a deductible is. Like, I don't know what any of this is. Does my insurance, like I'm in a different state, like I have different plates on my car, like going through all this shit, and I was like, so I was just like, whatever. But it truly makes you grow in different ways. Facts. And so
you have to do those things sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like they're just people who haven't gone through it are so stunted in their growth.
So on that note, like what would you say since you got back? How's the scene in Seattle? Like you spoke on connections, whether it's through music, whether it's through relationship, whether it's just life. Like how's like being back been treating you so far? Like how's that helping your creative drive? Because you said it was like a spark when you got to LA. Like it was on the money, right? How are you feeling now being back? Like how is that progress going for you? Like just generally, like you did mention you did had a boyfriend back in LA. There's all those things which is like including into like making you just more like on top of the world type of feeling, right? So now you're back, like you're doing what you're doing, you're still creating. How's Seattle treating that whole growth of like that passion you brought back from LA?
I think like without that experience, I wouldn't like be connecting with the people I'm connecting with now, like other creatives in the city. I think, you know, like I said, like there's so many good creative people here too. It's just, it's a different vibe. It's a different city, but there's like truly A1 quality people out here. That's and right. I don't think it should be slept on.
Right. Do you think the Seattle freeze thing is affecting your being back at all?
Yeah, I think it took a lot of time. I was gonna say I feel like I had to pay my dues here in my own fucking city more than I did in LA. I feel like in LA I was so embraced, so open, so open arms so quick. Like, you meet somebody, be like, yo, you make music? That's crazy. Come over tomorrow. Let's record. And like, you would. Like,
Right.
here's the thing. I will pull up anywhere. I will pull up to your house. I went to Compton. I went to Watts.
Oh, no
I'll
way.
go to the Valley. I would go to wherever the fuck there was like a microphone. Like, I
Right.
would pull up anywhere. I was
Yep.
everywhere all the time. And here I feel like people like vet you out a little bit or take their time
Yep.
with like really wanting to
Like the scope the same.
really
Like-
wanting to work with you. It's like slower. It's been slower in my opinion to build with people here.
You're
And it's still frustrating. I still miss LA. I still do feel like LA is a bigger city at the end of the day, and like it's like a hub for like, you know, like there's
Cheers.
just like Seattle is a big city too, though.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
don't want to be negative. I do
Right.
feel like there's so much talent here as well. It's
Right.
just different.
Yep.
Like, they're totally different places. There's
Yeah.
a lot of history in Los Angeles that I don't feel like there is in this city.
Right. The growth is a little different.
Yeah.
No, you were right
So-
on that though, because I personally felt like I had a cheat code by having my homie here who were actually in the scene. Like, he's a producer, you work with all the artists and all the creators. So it's like when I got here, it was just like I had a little more bass, you know, because it's like
Yeah,
it was
you had,
different.
like, a creative friend.
Yeah, right. It was different from like trying to find these people individually than just like, oh, you know, this is my brother, this is someone
Yeah.
I've worked with, and all the artists and all the creators he had worked with. It was like super organic when I met them, you know. That's why sometimes when people would tell me their experience with the whole Seattle Free situation or not feeling accepted within certain communities or in certain areas, it's a little different for me, because like when I met those people, I just like kind of like let them know, like, bro, I came out here for this specific purpose, and I feel like
Yeah.
this is something I want to stand on, and I love your art. Because what I realized when it comes to even things out with people is like, you just gotta show, like, you just gotta show them support. That's really all people are
That's
looking for. Like,
real.
yeah, if
That's
you show them a little bit of
real.
support,
Community is so important.
It's easier for them to come back to you because they're just like, oh man, he was just like organic. He loved my music, or he loved my art, or like whatever I was doing, my clothes. And I just feel like, you know, people like that are not easily found, because when you get on the internet, there's like so much negativity, or like
Yeah.
people around you are just envious of how you're growing or what
Yeah.
you're doing. So it's way harder to like get your foot into that door. But like I said, for me, it was a little more different, right? Just having him in that area, recording with some of his friends that he was recording with, me sharing my knowledge of how I feel about their work, or like, you know, what I feel like they were capable of, made them tell me how they felt about me, right? And that right there just built a foundation. And we realized, at least we got something in common. How can we help each other grow that?
I was going to say, if you're a creative person already, like, you almost organically gravitate towards other people who like understand you, even if it's in a different medium. So
That's
that is
facts.
nice that you had like a friend, but it's also like probably you as a person, like your energy as a creative person, like you'll link with other creatives and it'll make sense.
That's facts.
You
That's
know?
really, yeah, that's really how it is right now, you know?
I think I love that part the most. And
Yeah.
that's why like the community portion is so important. Cause like without other creative people, like what is it worth? Like I love being around other creative people.
Yeah, it sparked the interest. Shout out to Colors too, because like
Yeah.
since I locked in with Armando and the whole team at Colors, you know, Fago and everyone, it's been so motivating. You know, it's
Exactly.
like they're you know, they've been in the business for a long time, so it's like communicating with guys like that, and they're sharing their past experience with you. You know, based on where you were at, it kind of motivates you, right? Because they're telling you, like, even me talking to you right now, you were telling me like LA had his wave, but it still had like, you know, ways that you had to change and make transitions too, right? So just being honest about what been happening to you in life, and just like helping someone else like spark that interest. I think that's what the guys in Colors had done for us so far with our entire team, is like brightening up our mode as much as we try to like help them and
makes
build
me happy.
and build a community, right? It's been such an amazing journey. But you know, I just feel like that's something we need to share with others out there, you know, just kind of like help get people to understand, like, yo, there's way more to life than what you think it is. There's way more opportunity. You just got to believe in yourself, and the more you start to believe in yourself, the more you would get yourself in places where other people are going to start believing in you. And then when people start believing in you, it's like it's like a whole different world out there. Everything else is blurred out there because you just lock in with the ones that see the vision as much as you, because vision is a dream. It's in your head. Nobody sees it unless you put it out on the table or you do something about it.
Man, that's real. And if you, I feel like there was something else at some point that said like they don't get it because it's like it's not their journey. If it was their journey, like everyone would understand it or something.
That's facts.
And I feel that way. Like sometimes don't rely on your friends or family to understand it, and it might hurt, but like just don't. It's like your solo journey for a fucking reason. Yeah. So and then you meet people like on the way that like get you, and that's like so rewarding. It's
always going to be like that. Friends or family that you chose, right? So it's like at the end of the day, you're going to have family who like sees you for what they sees you for, right? They just know you as this kid that grew up or whatever, but they don't see beyond that, right? Unless you like find people who you connect with and you show them that vision and you give them idea of that vision and they have a vision that you also impact on, right? That's when things get sparkly. Right? If you're waiting for like your family or some close friend to tell you that you're good at something, I think you're slightly wasting your time. You just got to go for it, right? And then when you get into that field, it just,
it sucks. I don't think they'll ever understand it like you might want them to. I think like my family's like really supportive. Like they're super like nice when I like share things with them or like stuff like that. But they're not like the ones that are going to be
they're not going to be the one
necessarily.
Exactly. They're not going to be that number one fan in the concert like you're going to find people that are going to fill in that gap, and that's just how it works. So on that case, like, are you working on anything right now? What are some little hidden projects you feel like you want to share with us right now? What can we expect from Alexis in the next couple months?
Okay, next couple months I have probably like at least 3 or 4 songs.
Okay,
they need to come out, and Money on the Line is like probably the next song.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
So good, and it's like it's different,
right,
from old stuff, I would say.
Okay, so are you like trying a newer feel, or just like you're just adding a little more flavor to what people know you of?
I wouldn't say it's totally new. Like you would still kind of hear my influence in it, but it's a little more upbeat than stuff I usually do. And the rest of them are too.
What about venues? Are you planning on performing anytime soon? Is there something that you're looking forward to?
I did have a show a couple months ago out here, and that was my first time singing in Seattle. It was really cool.
Right. So
it's really fun.
Did you actually perform anything in LA? Like, did you perform?
Oh yeah, I used to sing in LA all the time, and then Vegas too, like because it was like a few hours away, and I sang at like a range of like from like house party events to like really nice hotels in Hollywood, and then like just venues in Vegas. I used to sing a lot more. I used to like perform a lot more live.
Right. So are you open to bookings right now? If somebody wanted to work with you or, get you up on stage?
Yeah, I'm open to it. I definitely like have not done it as much, in the past years. I've just been really like locked in on the creation process more than the performance element, but it's part of it.
Yeah, it is.
Gotta get back out there.
Nah, you're right though, because I do the same thing too. I just had a show last month, just finding some of the most creative guys in the city to execute the stage at Nectar. It was a great time. I was.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was.
Wait, did you perform?
No, I was the host.
Oh, it's like you had a show. What the hell? You make music.
I hosted a show where I found some of the greatest upcoming artists in the area. Some of them I've interviewed already, and they kill the stage, and something I look forward to doing more because I'm a DJ myself. So it's like I love music, and when I find people in that area that does good music, I try to like project your art the most I can. So I think it was a great time. I was able to network with people at Nectar. So it's like there's other bars and areas in the area I'm still looking at. Right, it's not something major on my plate right now. I'm focusing on more what we got on here. But when I get the chance to host show, I do look for the most inspiring youths, like artists, and most inspiring people who are ready to get on stage and just execute their music. So
Yeah.
I'm asking you that personally because that's something I do. So maybe, who knows, in the next couple months I might be reaching out to you to,
Yeah.
you know,
You can
execute
always
a
reach
stage
out for
somewhere in
sure.
Seattle.
I think like the only thing I'm apprehensive about is making sure it's like an event that makes sense for me, because
Right.
I used to get put on a lot of lineups that were like heavily like trap rap artists, and this was like
And
the
then you
era
just
I
come
sang a
in
lot of R&B.
singing.
Actually, let me tell you a crazy story.
Go ahead.
I opened for Shoreline Mafia before they
Nice.
were famous, like in LA. I used to like somewhat kick it with them, but it was like some really underground show, and I was just like, what the fuck, bro? This is just doesn't make any sense for me. Like I was singing like so high, like get me so high, and they were like, you know, like just the gang of trap dudes, and I was like, how the fuck does this make sense for me? And then like also like these shows were like run by whoever, and the mic wouldn't be working, and like so I think like for a while I was just like kind of pissed. Like I was like, yo,
it just seemed like it wasn't the right scene. It wasn't the right audience. That's the same thing. Even with everything we do, like right now, we're still trying to find our niche. Even with the podcast, with our brand, like we are still trying to find that group that we can engage, that will engage with us as heavy, right? So that's something that I feel like every artist needs to know. Like it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. You're gonna have to do those uncomfortable shows. You're gonna have to do those uncomfortable interviews. Like it's gonna be like it's gonna be like that
that's
until
real.
you can like reach out to that group of people who are gonna admire your sound. You know what I mean? Like I heard a story with Miley Cyrus fans going crazy when they had Playboy Cardi play before her sets, and now like there's a whole nother group of people just crazily wilding in the crowd, and there's like heavy group of people who just like, man, I wasn't even here for this. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, exactly. You could have some crossover, but then at the same time, you don't know if it's your demographic or not.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
No, I feel like that's how it works for a lot of people, but you got to keep putting yourself out there because that's the only way you're going to find it.
No,
right?
that's true.
You got to accept those uncomfortable shows or like those crowds that don't even know your song, right? You got to accept that and just keep performing and keep doing what you're doing. So, I mean, at this time of the show, this is where like, you know, I just try to get you to like share something out there that's helping inspire you and can inspire someone else, right? Whether it's like mentally, whether it's like physically, what are ways that, what is like your lively routine? What are ways that you're keeping your mental stability going? Because there's been so much going on and we are in 2024 now. So it's like, how are you keeping yourself motivated to even keep doing music for how long you're doing it? I know some people that just quit right away. You know what I mean?
Question.
Like what are those things that are keeping Alexis going, you know? Like share with somebody out there.
I wish more people acknowledge that we need like group therapy as an earth for like the pandemic. I feel like those were really traumatic years.
Right. It's like we haven't fully recovered yet.
I'm like, I feel like years I've just been back in my hometown, like also, you know, thriving finally. At first it was like survival mode. Like I came back like so broken. The gym has helped me so much the past couple years, like with my mental health, like just having a routine, and also like getting a full-time career like this year has also really helped me. I feel like there's a negative stigma with artists like working a normal job as well.
That's
and
facts.
So don't feel ashamed if you're getting money, and it's like the weirdest thing ever.
It's like having a job look crazy nowadays, but it's like we got to keep hustling to make our life possible. Like you can't hold that back.
I like getting money consistently. I like a schedule. I think that really helps me too. I think like mental health wise, like I don't do well as like a self starter without like deadlines and without like somebody on my ass. So it helps me.
That's same with me here too. Like, you know, being able to schedule out your days or your week, or like just have in mind what are things that you want to accomplish on those specific days. You know, I think that's kind of a really, you know, that's what's going to start the foundation to whatever you're doing. So I think, you are amazing. Even with the gym status too, like, you know, physically working out and getting your mental health, you know, up there. I think that's some of the things we like to talk about here. Just like, how can we help somebody get out of whatever dark space they're in right now?
Even if it's like a walk.
Yeah.
Even if it's like you start small and you do like a walk. I love walks. I think anytime I have like a brain fog or I'm in like a bad mood, just like a small walk around my neighborhood always does it for me.
Nah, that's nice. Nah, 100%, 100%. Like, you know, being able to stay focused and like, even when we go out there to shoot, I think some of the nicest things we've been doing lately is like working with my brother with Dream Lab and having rich production with the cameras and everything. So we would take trips up to the mountains. You know, those are some things that we have, like Washington have, that other places don't have. And I feel like people got to use that style. Like even with videos or like music videos or like even with clothing brand, it's like take pictures in those places that other people don't have. Like,
I agree.
Like, you know what I mean? Other people can like take pictures in studios and other places, but if you're taking pictures in the mountains, how many other states really have mountains?
Yeah,
you know
people should utilize that more. The forest, like that's a flex.
Right.
It's beautiful here.
Yeah, that's something we've been doing as a team and has been brightening us a whole lot.
Wow,
like just
that's
reaching
cool.
out there. Like we went and did a shoot in the mountain the other day, like super beautiful, like next to the water, like just the vibe and the people you were
just
around.
Felt good to be outside.
It was awesome. I'll tell you that. It was awesome because I'm from a place that didn't have any of that. So me being in that area is like, you know, we went to the Ice Cave Mountains during the Christmas time, you know, just you know, checking out these unique things about Washington. It's outdoors. It's like an outdoor place. You know what I mean? Using the content to keep promoting our work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I feel like people need to utilize that. Like you said, just go on a walk, you know. Just find
that's
a way
true. We live in a state where it's like very possible. Like in the winter, go up to the mountains, go skiing, go snowboarding, go tubing.
That's facts.
In the spring, be boating, kayaking, like utilize the outdoors. Outdoors is good for you.
100%.
Don't stay inside too long. It fucks with your head.
I feel like I've took a fair amount of your time, but is there anybody out there right now you want to work with? Do you have it could be a big name, small name, somebody in town, like go ahead and like, is there any kind of creator out there you want to tell them right now, like, hey, I think I look forward to working with this person?
Think I'm calling in like a new partnership for me and like a producer or producers to like fully lock in. I feel like the producers that I work with, a lot of them are still in LA or in other states.
Okay.
And that makes me sad. I feel like I need someone like in person to really work with. Not anyone specific, just like I'd love that like partnership again.
Nice. Yeah, you know, I mean, locally we are in Seattle, so if you're a producer out there, you got your own unique style. I think it would be nice to reach out to her, you know, let her know exactly. Also reach out to her to you first, you know. We try to put everyone in a place, you know. If you reach out to me and you do something unique and you want me to put you in a room with other people who I know that does that kind of style, you know, I would definitely love to help out. So I think this is a great time for us to just kind of utilize collaboration and, you know, reach out to each other to kind of help grow wherever we got going on.
Totally. Yeah. I look forward to like meeting more people in the city. I've already got to make some like amazing songs and videos out here. So it's possible. There's really good talent.
I just saw your last video. How was the process making in that?
That was so cool. I met Ghost through like mutual friends, and then I was like, yo, this guy's crazy. But I did notice that he worked with like mainly rap artists in the city, and I was like, I wonder if he'd be down to do like a pop song with me. I feel like it would be hard regardless because he's dope with his editing. Like there's no way he can make it look corny, and you know, I had a song I felt really confident about. So I reached out to him and we shot that in like 2 hours, just like in Seattle. It's really smooth. It went really smooth.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of collaboration. And you were right though. Most of the guys out here, like videographers, they're normally working with like you said, trap artists. But I feel like when you come with something new on the table, it can bring creativity to your style and their style, right? So that was some of his first maybe pop videos, and now he's getting a whole nother algorithm of audience that are reaching out to him and probably want to work with him too because of that. So at this point in the show, this is where you tell us how we can reach you, how we can network with you, social media, YouTube, whatever you're on. This is how you share your information. So let us know how we can get to you if we're trying to find your music, or, you know, just reach out.
It's Alexis Brooke, and it's with 2 X's on most every platform because it was taken. So the 2 X's, it's been that way forever. But yeah, 2 X's, except on streaming platforms. Just Alexis Brooke. You could pretty much find me anywhere.
Okay. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram.
Oh yeah, all of it.
All right, all of it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you again for having me. It was dope.
I'm really glad you came. Is there anything else you want to let us know about so far that you think would be nice to share, or you think you already put so much on the table?
Yeah, not necessarily. I don't have a drop date for anything for this year, but I'm really just excited to drop new stuff. I have it all in the vault, so it will be.
It will be in the making.
Out.
Definitely keep up with you. Just keep seeing what you're dropping, whether it's on social media or just kind of keeping updated. You know, I feel like nowadays we use our stories and ways to like reach out to people to let them know what we're doing.
Oh, yeah. I think it's such a good tool. Yeah. I use Instagram, and I'll probably never stop using Instagram. That's like my number one.
Me too, though. I'll tell you that Instagram been a great work. But you already know, you heard it here first. You heard it here live with your boy Max. And shout out to Alexis for being in the building. I know we're going to have more conversation in this. This is just the beginning of it. Yes. You know what I mean? I hope Seattle treats you nice. You know, I'm looking forward to your next drop or your next video. And like, make sure like you lock in with us too, because I already told you we have a whole team of people out here, our colors too, that we do a whole lot more, from photo shoots to videos to whatever you're looking for producing or whatever you're trying to work with. And so is everyone out there. So just make sure you reach out, you know, and help grow this community as we help motivate you guys out there.
Thanks for adding to the city and coming and putting people, you know.
Thank you so much for being here.
In the spotlight. I appreciate that.
No, 100%. I appreciate you guys. If you already reached this far, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, whatever way you can reach out, DM, however you're trying to reach out to us. Just make sure you reach out to Heard It Here First on every platform, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, or X, whatever it's called now. Make sure you lock in. And you heard it here first. You heard it here live. Your host, Max, and peace out.